Hello everyone, thanks for joining. I am Vikas and today I am going to talk about one of the exciting tool that we developed, that is DRS Cluster Rules Manager. Before I jump into this, I would like to give some brief introduction about myself. I am part of a VMware India R&D where I primarily contribute to the vCenter server team. In terms of experience, I have around six years of experience in tech. I have been a V expert since last 4 years, and in my spare time, I do blog on my technical blog, vthinkbeyond.com, and same is my Twitter handle as well. So here is the standard disclaimer from VMware. So here is my agenda. First, I will talk about the problem we solved. Then I will talk about the solution we developed. Then I will showcase the demo, and finally I will talk about the future work that we are doing. So as this tool is all about the DRS rules, I would like to introduce you to what is DRS rules all about. So there are primarily two types of DRS rules. One is VM affinity rules, another is VM host affinity rules. So what is VM affinity rule? Consider there is a DRS cluster and you have set of VMs and you would like to have these VMs to be running on the same host all the time. So you can go ahead and create a VM host affinity rule. So DRS will make sure that the set of VMs are always running on the same host. The opposite to that, VM host anti-affinity rule. In this case, if you would like to have set of VMs always be running on the separate host in the cluster, then you can go ahead and create anti-affinity rule. Similarly, VM host affinity rule. In this case, we will have a group of VMs as a VM group, and there will be a host group which is a group of hosts, and now you would like to force or restrict the VMs from the VM group whether to, will be running on always on the host group, or you can restrict those VMs from running on those hosts. So in this case you can create a VM host affinity rule. So this is just high level picture of how DRS rules works. So there are DRS rules are very famous, and there are several use cases, such as some customers use DRS rules for HA requirements, some uses for networking, some uses for some licensing constraints. So what is the problem? Let's talk about the problem. So here are some of the customer codes with respect to the problem that we have with the DRS rule. DRS rules are very handy, but when we talked with some of the technical account managers and then we looked into the customer forums such as VMTN, we got some of the codes from the customers. So I would like you to take a look for a few seconds. Now clearly, based on these codes, it is clear that the DRS rules are very famous. Customer would like to use it, but it is operationally pretty challenging, painful to manage these rules. So what is the solution? So solution was DRS Cluster Rules Manager, which is a web application. So what features it offers? First feature it offers is auditing anti-affinity rules. Let's say you have a DRS cluster and you have a couple of VMs, like NTP server is running. So there is a NTP server 1 and there is a NTP server 2. So for HA requirement, you have created additional NTP server, and sometime back you created one rule saying that these couple of VMs has anti-affinity rule, and then now you would like to audit that rule. So auditing anti-affinity rule, that feature will help you to audit the rules those are created. The second one is importing DRS rules from the multiple vCenters. So whenever you are moving from one vCenter instance to completely new vCenter, that time, let's say you have 30+ cluster created in the earlier version, and there can be a possibly 50+ rules created. So it is practically very challenging to recreate those rules on the destination, the new vCenter instance. In this case, we can use the importing DRS rules from the multiple vCenter, and once we have imported those rules, and then later in the future when you move your entire inventory to the new vCenter, that time you can use the next feature, which is exporting. Then we have a real-time detailed DRS rule report, where you will get the stats where how many rules are created, what type of rules are created, how many are enabled, how many are disabled on that particular list of clusters, list of rules, whether rules are satisfied or not, whether DPM is enabled on the cluster or not, HA is enabled on the cluster or not, then what is the status of the DRS rule. So all this info will be captured in this DRS rule report. Then next feature we have is a VM rule association, where VM is a focal point. One VM can be a part of multiple DRS rules. So as the admin, if you would like to know that, okay, VM is there, so it will list the number of VMs in the cluster, and it will tell you that what are the rules associated with that particular VM and what is the status of all the rules for that. So that's the next feature. And then we have ability to connect to the multiple vCenters from the same UI. So let's take a look at the demo. So you have already logged into the vCenter. The slides. Looks like it's no. Okay, thank you. So first, auditing anti-affinity rule, where you will enter the regex which start with the VM naming convention that you have used. So you could see that inventory, the couple of VMs matched with that regex, and now this tool is checking whether there is any anti-affinity rule between that two VMs or not, NTP1 and NTP2. So it says yes. The next feature we have generate detailed report. As I said, it will show the detailed statistics, how many rules are there, the number of cluster, number of data centers, and then it will list the number of clusters, then rules and its status, whether HA honors the rule or not, whether HA is enabled and DPM is enabled, where these VMs are currently residing. So, and the same report can be downloaded as well in terms of HTML format. So this is how that rule will look like, report will look like. Next we have VM rule association, where it will list all the VMs from the inventory. Now in that inventory you can check box that rule can be created on the cluster level or data center level or vCenter level. The same report can be downloaded as well. And in status, if say, let's say that rule is violated, it will give some recommendation saying that what is the reason this rule can be violated. So it will give some troubleshooting help, some tips. Next one is importing rules. So at vCenter level, all the rules will be imported back to the database. So we use the database. So couple of rules were there, those are imported. Once rules are imported, that drop down will give you option to select the vCenter, from which vCenter you would like to import the rule from, and then you need to give the export, the destination vCenter where you would like to export those rules. So, and then the next option we have connect to another VC inventory. So once we click on that, we will get option to enter the VCIP password and credential, username, password. So that's about demo. Now what we are working on now, in order to extend this, earlier we released this as a web application. Now we would like to integrate the same functionality into the newly developed H5 client as a plugin, and then release the same again as a second plugin 2.0. Then as you know, DRS has affinity rules. Similarly for storage DRS we have rules. So we would like to add similar functionality for the storage DRS rules as well. And then as you could see, like the third one, SPBM, storage policy based management, where we can multiple features in vCenter support SPBM interop with that particular features, something like SPBM interop with the storage DRS, vSAN is entirely policy-based management. So some use cases from those areas are also we are picking up. Then we would like to give all this functionality as a REST API endpoint. So any customer who would like to use this functionality in their own automation tools, they can go ahead and use it instead of using this UI. And this can be extended to any vCenter feature use cases. So what is our main focus is, if there is no feature available in the official UI, that is vSphere client, H5 client, and if there is no straightforward APIs available, then we would like to pick such use cases and build. Because if the API is available, we can go ahead and use the native APIs or PowerCLI and automate ourselves. So that's all. Since this is all about solving your use cases, we would really appreciate if you have any feedback or any feature requests, some use cases that you would like to have into this tool. Please share with us. So this is my team, and if you would like to try this out, so below I have given a couple of links where you can go ahead and deploy that. That video will tell you what steps are needed to deploy as well. So that is pretty much. Thank you very much.